Welcome back to the podcast, Two Beers and a Bible podcast. And what we were mentioning before, it seems like it's been a lot has happened in the world since we last spoke.
Feels like it's been like a month since we've done one of these.
Wars, political changes.
Wars?
Well, I guess that war is still going on, right? And
What war? Ukraine, Russia?
I mean, that one for sure, but I guess Iran. Are we still bombing Iran?
I couldn't tell you.
I guess not. I don't know.
I don't know anything about anything as usual. But what I do know about is the floods that happened, which we can touch on in a little bit.
No, we should.
I thought there was a lot of disgusting stuff that came out about those.
Do tell.
Just the tweets and, all that type of stuff. This is what MAGA voted for. And, I mean, we're talking about kids that are, innocent people, really, at the end of the day, not just kids. But I felt like some of that stuff was, there's a time and a place for some things. And immediately after a tragedy like that, I don't think is the time or the place to be discussing climate change and what people voted for and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, I think that lady actually got fired and is like,
the doctor here in Houston?
Yeah, the Houston doctor.
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, I feel like there's a fine line between, I heard it put the story about, in the Bible where they talk about the woman who was having an affair and they went and got her, right? Brought her in front of Jesus and kind of put Jesus in a predicament. And they basically what he said was, hey, whoever has never told a lie, whoever's never sinned, you throw the stone at her. Nobody could, right? So, I guess my point is we all make mistakes. We all sin. We all probably had moments that we wish we could take back. And I don't know if that she wishes she could take it back. I would imagine you lose your job, ruin your career. That's probably a moment you'd like to take back. But I'm just trying to look at it differently.
That's a good mindset.
Instead of just like, she lost her job. I jokingly said good riddance. But at the end of the day, that's somebody's mom that's jobless now. I don't know what that's done for their financial situation and all this. She probably shouldn't have said what she said, but I don't know. I'm just trying to look at things a little bit differently, and I don't know if grace is the word or...
Grace is the word, because that's exactly what we're prescribed to do, and that's what you're given right now. Because I think all of us find it hard not to, it's like when something happens to the other side, I don't know how many liberals or left-leaning people have been in this podcast studio using that as a wedge issue. Look at how Abbott, doesn't have sirens. It doesn't do things like that. Look at all these dead kids on his plate. I'm like, why are we using the most innocent in our society as political wedges and tools?
They do the same after there's one of the school shootings or something like that. They immediately rush to gun control and all that. But if you want to have that discussion, that's fine. My stance is let's give people some time to grieve. Let's give people some time to process what just happened. Mm-hmm. And how about have some respect for the people who are, directly affected by this tragedy.
Yeah.
Not rush to get political. I feel like and maybe that's why I'm so turned off by politics, is our world has just become so politicized that it makes me sick.
Yeah, and I think it happens on both sides. We're quick to judge and use because that's it's so emotional when kids are involved. So you want to use it to get the other side really.
Yeah, playing devil's advocate when I can't remember the girl's name in Georgia. She was the college student. She was killed by the illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
Here comes the right.
Exactly.
Pushing, so it goes both ways. I try to stay in, I really don't like saying I try to stay in the middle, but I do, I try to see it from everybody's point of view. But there's a lot of wrong on both sides, in my opinion.
For sure. You're you're using grace, which is what we need to do in these moments, because there is just so much evil. It's kind of crazy how weaponizing things are now, because we just need to be rooted in our faith. And we talked about that last time, because the enemy really is attacking our faith. And when you look at the school shootings now, we used to always say like thoughts and prayers, like that's our thing. That I think that's a legitimate thing to do. But right now, if you look, that's like weaponized against us. They're like, oh, you can only give thoughts and prayers to
Yeah,
people when
yeah.
happen. Like
And
that's supposed to be a bad
I've
thing.
seen a lot of the comments about that. Like, what are your prayers doing right now? Like I've seen
They're
that stuff.
delegitimizing
And
thoughts and prayers.
yeah, I get it. I guess devil's advocate, if you're looking at it from the non-believer side of things, like, I mean, I'm not saying they have a point, but you as believers, we have to have a comeback for that, right? We have to have a way to argue that, right?
Mhm.
Not just, well, thoughts and prayers, because when they say, well, your thoughts and prayers didn't keep those kids safe, what are we supposed to say? How do we respond to that? I guess is the issue.
Yeah, well, each issue is different. There's always something that leads up to certain things, but I'm just saying the meta thing of saying thoughts and prayers is a bad thing just to do it. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like unbeliever, like don't believe that thoughts and prayers have any impact on anything.
And I
But as
guess,
believers, we know that it stirs the, heavens to do something and actually have an impact. And we're like
and I,
delegitimizing that. Like it's a really important topic in Christianity.
yeah, I guess, and thoughts and prayers would be thoughts and prayers with the family that is still here dealing with this tragedy, that they'll be able to find strength and, all the things that they need to do to process this
But
and
I
get
think
over with it. But also prayers with the ones that are no longer here, that they're in a better place now and their struggle here on earth is over with. So
yeah, and I think
maybe it doesn't fix right now. Like it doesn't fix the past. It doesn't fix the flood and everything that happened. But that doesn't mean that things can't either be better for the ones that are gone or better for the ones that are like directly affected.
yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense, but I think maybe the good point of thoughts and prayers really is let's not make this political at this moment. Let's
Correct.
take internalize this, give the people room to grieve their children, and then let's like conceptualize what happened to us. Let's take a moment, have temperance, like what the whole big thing in Christianity is, or anyone like should understand that. Let's just take a minute right now, understand that people are grieving, and let's give them that space instead of just attacking the other side. I think that's important for thoughts and prayers if you don't believe anything
Yeah,
happening with
that's
it.
100% what, like, to me, politics almost equate to hate in the way where I'm sitting. Like you have to have like a special hatred in your heart to bring politics into a tragedy directly after it happens, right? Like the doctor thing, that's so hard to get over. Like she's caring for children, but at the same time, like she hates the other side of the aisle's political beliefs so much that she basically wished harm on them,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just, I don't understand how people can live like that, to be honest with you. Like
But they're dealing with stuff.
the politics, man. The more I think about it, the more we've touched on it before, how DC and the devil and all that stuff. And the more I think about it, the more I think I believe that you're onto something there. So
Yeah, I mean, even if you take with what's happening, I don't know if you politics is kind of crazy, but we need to start engaging a little bit in politics because all politics is just using your voice to convince people. That's like the root definition of politics.
yeah,
And as Christians, we have to engage in politics just to get people back to Jesus. Like both sides, I don't really care. I want people to have a foundation in what is good and bad, and that comes through our morals that Jesus taught us. And it's kind of crazy when people are just using politics these days to drive wedges into people. I think we need to start bringing people back together into some root kind of thing we understand.
100%. And again, we've talked on it so much. Like politics are just another way that the devil uses to divide us right now. Like I don't know if it's been a while since I feel like we've been so divided as a country.
I agree.
But it's where we are right now, and it's mainly because of politics. Like I don't know why else we would be so divided. That nothing else out there. Like, are we divided because the Cowboys didn't win another Super Bowl? Like, no. Like
Yeah.
we're actually united on that for the most part, outside of the so-called Dallas fans. But I don't know. Like it's just I loathe politics.
Yeah.
And
But we have to come back because there's issues that bring us all together. And I think that's the most scary for the powers that be out there that don't want us to be united. Because this is obviously on something they're trying to divide us on purpose. But there's things
Agreed.
that we all believe like together. Like I was in a like a great conversation with one of my liberal friends on Facebook yesterday, and they're kind of like at awe of how the Trump base is like fighting against like the whole Epstein thing. Have you heard about this?
I've heard bits and pieces of it, which I overhear my wife talking to her dad, and he's, I think I'm leaning towards he's pretty MAGA, but it sounds like he's done with that if they don't, like that's, from my understanding, that's what people liked about Trump, was that he was different, he was going to be transparent, he was going to do all these things, and now what's up with this list? And I don't know what to believe and what not to believe, like most people, but yeah, I've heard bits and pieces.
But I think that can unite everyone, because everyone, I think the current polling it is 3% of people agree that Trump is doing handling the Epstein case correctly right
What
now.
is he doing? What is the problem with it?
He's calling it a hoax, that it never happened, like that it was a whole leftist hoax. The Epstein thing, it was like derived by the Obamas just to drive a wedge right now. But he's the one that like campaigned on it. And obviously Epstein had a child sex island in the middle of the Caribbean where almost like princes went.
You're going to get
kings.
us banned, by the way.
This one is probably not going to get shadow banned yet. But it's legitimately truth that there was an island where a lot of celebrities flew to for no other reason than to be in the presence of Jeffrey Epstein and whatever he sold. Like I don't know what he sold, but I know it wasn't stocks. It wasn't financial advice.
Well, I mean, is it? I don't know. I guess this is the naive part of me. Is there any remote possibility that somebody flew there for a party or a get together or a networking thing and didn't really fully understand what was really going on at this island? And then they're like, well, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Right?
For
And
sure
now
there
they're
is,
on this
yeah.
list, right? So I don't want to spend this whole podcast doing the devil's advocate thing, but that's kind of where I would initially land, is that maybe this list does include a lot of people who were there for other reasons and not necessarily that.
No, I totally agree with that, but it needs to be investigated. Like we can find every single person that was on January 6th. Like we used months of the FBI's like manpower to find like grandmas going through ropes at January 6th, but we can't even investigate like the list to see like who was actually abusing children, who was actually partaking in that. It's kind of insane that.
Is there any true, like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go there.
You should, because I mean, I was in DC. I was in politics.
The little bit that I have heard is something about Israel and an Epstein connection, CIA,
Mossad,
blackmail type, which that makes a lot of sense too if you think about it like that. But
I mean, again, this is going to be shadow banned. So as soon as we talk about this, like we've had another thing last week, it has like 26 views, and I'm advertising, nothing's happening to it. There's just certain topics, and this is one, but hopefully the people listening to the full podcast can still hear about it.
I don't know.
But Ghislaine Maxwell, the one in actually prison right now.
Yeah, what is she in prison for if there's no list, I guess would be the...
But her father was head of Mossad. Like he was a head of
what is Mossad again?
It's like the MI6 or the CIA of Israel.
You're speaking my language with the MI6 thing.
Big James Bond guy.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission. Yeah, I like how I didn't lead with the CIA. I just went MI6. But there's clear connections between it, and there's multiple testimonies from before about how even a current like FBI Dan Bongino was saying how he has sources about it being intelligence. Like he never got specific about which intelligence, but it was an intelligence operation to blackmail people.
Makes
and
sense.
It's kind of crazy if we don't uncover that. And I'm done with MAGA too. Like I was never full Trump thing, but like I was always trying to find the middle somewhere. But obviously I'm anti-establishment. Like I worked in DC. I know how the sausage is made, and these people on either side are terrible. And that's why Trump was such a breath of fresh air, because he was speaking things that were hidden, and now he's going against it. But if we don't fix the issue of our politicians and our celebrities and our elite having blackmail on them so we can't get things done, like there's no point to politics. There's no point to voting anymore.
I feel kind of gross talking about it because I didn't even vote, so I'm not even qualified to speak on all this. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder because like now
I'm
I
probably
wonder
not
what.
going to vote next time either. Like I
No,
just
not even for Elon Musk's new party.
oh, he created a new party.
That's what. Yeah, he's calling it the American Party or something.
Nice.
Well, we'll see what happens. There's definitely.
Third parties don't really stand a chance in America. I do know that much.
Yeah, I mean, as long as people keep saying that, I agree 100%. There's no chance of a third party. But
Hey, best of luck to them.
I mean, the Whigs. I'm sure in the 1700s, the Whigs were saying the same thing. It just doesn't happen often.
I feel like it would be a breath of fresh air for a third party to come in and just kind of wreck shop.
Yeah, and I think there is a. I mean, I think
maybe I'd vote then.
Yeah, and I think 80% of America probably would likes a new party that is talking about these things because the extremes of both sides are just it is cultish behavior, and like there is no truth to be said. Like there's Overton window of what you can discuss is all like from pro-Israel to pro-Israel. Like that's what's in between, and you can't talk about anything else outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about the weather. Like, what's going on with the weather? It's literally rained every day here.
Yeah, I had a conversation
understand.
at the gym about this.
And the last time I remember it raining every day in a summer, Hurricane Katrina hit that summer. I was in Baton Rouge. I was at LSU, and
Dang.
it literally.
Knock on wood. I don't want anything.
That's marble,
like that.
but there we go.
There's one wood in there.
Yeah. Yeah. That was. I specifically remember that.
Wow. But I was talking
hopefully not
in the gym about someone and about someone, and they brought up a good point. Like normally weather comes from some system. Like you see it coming from the south, you see it coming from the west, and you see the system growing. These showers are just appearing out of nowhere. There's nothing in the Gulf of Mexico. All of a sudden it's here. And it comes from the north. It comes from the south. It comes from the east. It comes from the west. It's coming from everywhere.
Since we're already shadow banned, we might as well say the cloud seeding or whatever it is.
Yeah, the rainmaker stuff.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that's just so crazy because they were saying that's a conspiracy theory my whole life. How it's not, no one can manipulate the weather. You're being crazy. But now it's like, yeah, we do it, but it's not doing anything bad. It can't possibly have a bad impact on it.
Oh, man.
It's just, I really do think Jesus is coming back because the lies are so blatant now. Like I used to be some semblance of like understanding to these lies. Like, oh, maybe they're wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm just mistaken about this. But the lies are so brazen now. Like, no, who believes in this stuff?
A lot of people.
I mean, maybe 30% of people. Like,
how many people voted this year or last year?
Yeah, it was probably, I don't know, 50% of the country. I don't know. It was a high
100-something million.
Yeah.
Well, that many people. So
no, but there was the whole anti-establishment thing. There's a good, I'm going to butcher the name of this, but they did a lot of psychology in the 70s about Asch conformity experiments. Look it up. It's really cool about how 30% of people will just go along with whatever the group says, whatever what they think the majority is. So they would have experiments and they would be like 2 + 2 = 4. Who thinks that? And people would raise their hand. And then they'd be like 3 + 3 = 8. Who believes in that? And they would have actors raise their hand. And about 30% of people in the tech group would also raise their hand because they want to be part of the group, even though they know it's wrong.
So dangerous.
So I think that 30% of people you can't convince because they're just going to go with whatever the media says, whatever they think the majority of people think. So I think we're at that moment. I think it's about 30% of people that are everyone else, 70% of people is what is going on? We know that they're modifying the weather and maybe there's an issue with it. It's insane with that weather event. They admitted 2 days ago that they seeded clouds right before it. And they're it was only a little bit of stuff, and it dispersed within an hour or something.
Yeah, dispersed into the river.
No, but maybe that changed the weather pattern. Maybe some clouds were supposed to be there or not supposed to be there, and then the weather pattern would have moved. But because you artificially manipulated the climate, who knows what could happen from that?
I will admit that as I'm getting older, I'm actually about to turn 43 here in I don't know, on the 29th.
Whoa!
But I have been watching a lot of the Weather Channel lately. I don't know if that comes with advanced age.
Golf is coming up soon.
Or everything that's going on.
Well, Well, at least
in
there's
the
some
world,
truth
but
there. Yeah.
uh, there's floods all over the place. It's not just this one. New Jersey, Missouri, like you name it, there's floods, and I'm just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, and it's not happening in Africa. It's just happening here. Like it's happening in Europe too. There's obviously something happening, but it's insane how we all know something's happening, and we're like kind of powerless to do anything. Like we're speaking our voices. What's gonna happen? Like, what is the end goal here? Like I literally think Jesus needs to come down from heaven to like put this. Like what impact? We can't vote anymore. Our politicians are gonna do the opposite of
The
what we do.
problem is, if he came down from heaven, there'd be 30% who don't believe that he's actually here.
But probably more, but that's a powerful yes, that's a powerful thing right there. I would bet like 90% of I would I even believe if Jesus
Or,
came down, I'd be like that guy is fake, like
or do you know how divided we'd be? Oh, that's not really Jesus. That is Jesus.
yeah, how would we know?
Like there, as divided as we are now, it would probably be even 10 times worse.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He would have to do miracles, and that's how dumb we are.
But
Like
then you'd have
we
people who actually see the miracles who still just refuse to believe.
yeah, because that's what happened actually in the Bible too. I think we talked about one of our first ones. Like he would like feed people from just like two loaves of bread and
Five fish, yeah.
five fish, and then they came back the next day and didn't believe anymore because he wouldn't do it again. Like
Yeah.
it took 124 hours for people to dismiss our Savior. But I question myself, like, what would it take me to believe in the Savior? Like, and I don't want to get banned again, but there's this thing called Project Bluebeam. Have you heard of this?
No, but this episode's already gone, so it just might as well roll with it.
I want to just throw everything in here.
Yeah.
But there's a conspiracy. It's happened, I think, since the 90s. This has been a big conspiracy theory called Project Bluebeam, and basically, it's gonna fake an alien invasion or the second coming of the Messiah. So they're gonna use like drones and then projections in the sky to like do like take out the sun or like do actual miracles, and then that's a lot of people are trying to protect or get the word out about this Project Bloom because it's a real thing, but who knows what it's going to happen and what they're going to do because
And who's in charge of this?
the powers that be, the people in charge, the occult, the people hidden in the background that are running our country and opening our borders and making sure like saying you can't talk about females being males or males or females, like those are all such absurd concepts if you like just examine it and we believe in it. So it would be much easier, I think, for them to have like this projection like second coming Jesus. Like they can sell that in a second with their media. Like they could get 95% of the world, I think, believing in them as long as if they just had like imagine the technology the government has now, like when they had like caller ID in the 50s or 60s, like what kind of drone technology they could convince 95% of the world, I think, in a fake Messiah.
That's scary too.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's really important just to get founded into what Jesus said. He warned us about the fake messiahs and the false messiahs, and we really just need to come down to it being about him. Like, because I'm sure the fake messiah, whenever they came, the false messiahs, they're going to make it about them. They're going to make it about like dividing, casting out the others, like making sure to get the others away from, like, it's going to be about dividing instead of bringing back people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key of what we have to understand. I think in politics too, we have to look at who's trying to decentralize.
It feels like it would be the end of the world, actually.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
The more you say that, and the more I'm sitting here processing it and thinking about it, and just as divided as we are, like, hey, those people are the enemy. Those people are not good. You need to do away with them. Like,
yeah. And imagine if Jesus said that,
Yeah, yeah.
like imagine if your savior is saying,
which, by the way, that's not what we're saying.
No,
For-
no,
don't
I'm
get
not
it
saying-
misconstrued.
I'm saying Jesus wouldn't say that.
Yeah, correct. So,
And it's I think we're at the precipice because these lies are like, I can't, like they used to try to convince us. I think I've been in the conspiracy circles my whole life, basically. In the 5th grade, I started my first, I don't think I ever told you this, my website, and it got millions of views, and it was
Really?
called the Conspiracy X page. And I would just like post different, I was literally in the 5th grade, just a little kid. And I think it was one of the most popular conspiracy sites of that day, like of that time. It was like in the 90s. And like, it's just, I've been in the circle for a long time. And they used to always try to, the news, like when something happened or JFK assassination happened or something, there was always a plausible explanation to things. Like they try to convince the people that were doubting. Now they're not even trying to convince the doubters anymore. They're just like stigmatizing them.
Yeah.
Like it's not, they're not trying to convince the other side anymore. So it's, I think in 2016, it really started happening, and it's like reaching something new levels. Cause I just, I don't think anyone, or most 70% of people don't believe these lies anymore. It's just, I wonder what's going to happen.
Uh, I don't know, but I hope that it can wait several hundred years to happen. So
Well, the
I'm
good
not
news
here
about it is that
sounds terrible.
7 years of tribulation, if we use the Bible here, are going to happen. And then it's just hundreds of, I got to look it up, but hundreds of years of paradise, Jesus' second coming after those 7 years of tribulation. So we're going to have 7 bad years. Maybe we're in the 7 years. No, I think Jesus has to proclaim himself. Then it's the 7 years of tribulation. But that book of Revelation is pretty amazing. Like anytime like my friends and family, that brings up a whole new thing. My friends and family, hi y'all, know about this podcast now, and
Oh yeah.
they are very concerned about me,
Oh gosh.
because I'm not a Catholic anymore. But I don't know how to explain this to y'all. Like,
Y'all got too many rules. That just tell them that. Too many stand up, sit down, kneel down, like all the
yeah,
just too
it's
many
a lot of
rules.
rules, but it's
No,
also,
I'm
it's
joking.
okay for me to explore my, as long as I'm rooted in the goodness of, like, I'm not asking you to kill each other or like lie to each. I'm literally just saying, don't lie to people, don't kill people. Like, try to understand your other side, be tolerant to people, be temperate, don't act out in rage. Like, these are just, we can agree on that stuff, but somehow it's a terrible thing that I'm like trying to be more like Jesus in my life. Like that's such, it's like such blasphemy for them, for me to believe in Jesus. Like just saying that is like such a terrible thing for them, cuz like maybe I'm heading into a cult. I'm becoming like a cult person now or something. They're like scared for me because I'm following Jesus.
So are they super religious or?
That's the thing. I don't know what they are, cuz they say they go to church and they say they believe in something, but it's all relative, I
I heard
think.
this a long time ago, and I'm not saying it's the case with your family and friends, but going to church doesn't make you a Christian any more than standing in your garage makes you a car. So
It's a good one.
I heard that a long time ago. It stuck with me, and that applies for a lot of people in my life.
Well,
So I don't know. I'm not calling them out or anything, but hey, I, I don't. I actually almost converted to Catholic.
really?
Yeah, I went to Acts retreat way back in probably 2018 or so,
Huh.
and was a great experience. And um, I I enjoyed a lot. I didn't think I would enjoy a lot of the Catholic traditions and all that type of stuff, but I actually did. And it was just one of those things where I came out of it on a high, and I was like, "Would let me just," because I was Methodist. I was born Methodist. That's what I've been my whole life. Now I'm more non-denominational, but at the time I was like, "Let me don't just go make a decision. Let me just sit on this," and nothing ever came of it. But uh, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, no, we find comfort in structure. Like we're
Yeah,
humans. We like, telling what to do right now. Like non-denominational is kind of scary to people because you have to tap into the Holy Spirit
yeah,
and let Jesus guide you. And that's a different experience for each person. There can't be a method or there can't be a structure to it. And I mean, I love my Catholic friends. Like, I think it's better to be Catholic than like not Catholic, not like Satanist or something like that. There's clearly something good to it. It's protected Christianity for 1,000 years. Maybe there's like big flaws to it, but at least like some people are still believing in Jesus 2,000 years later.
the only thing I'll say about my experience with Catholics is, and it's not all, but when I think back to some of the dirt bags I know from back home, they were they did have Catholic, like, cheating on their wife,
Yeah.
like a lot of these things. Uh, they were Catholic, and I'm not trying to rope them all in together, but like the Baptist people I know, like they walk the line, do the Baptist thing and
It's
all
tough
that,
to be a
and
real.
it almost felt like these people that I'm specifically talking about, it was almost like a show, like my kids got to go to Catholic school and we got to go to mass and all this other
You got to
stuff.
put
But
the ashes
behind
on
the
your
scene,
forehead so
yeah,
everyone sees.
behind the scenes, they're living this secret life and doing all this, crazy stuff that you shouldn't be doing.
It's
So
like The Sopranos. The Tony Soprano was a Catholic. He went to church every Sunday. They would like kill people.
yeah,
It's the same kind of thing.
and I'm not saying that's all Catholics. I'm saying my experience with some of them, like the real poo heads that I know in real life, like people that I don't want to be around and just aren't really good people.
I think, yeah, and I agree with that. And this kind of leads to what I wanted to talk about. Go ahead.
I guess but the big thing is like how open they are. Like, oh, I'm Catholic. Like they put it in your face and they try to basically live a double life is what they're doing. And of course, you don't know it at the time until everything comes out. But I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way.
And I think you're spot on, because I think that's really why Jesus woke me up. It's a very hypocritical stance. And I think what it is, it's relative moralism is what Catholicism is. You decide when you're a good person, as long as you go to church and do these tenets, you can still be a Christian.
Yeah.
But this is kind of blew my mind when I read this. Have you heard of the Satanic Temple? I'm sure you've heard of Satanism, but if you go on their website, they have 7 tenets. And any Catholic person, because a lot of people are turning to Catholicism now. There's a big movement from Methodists, from Baptists into Catholicism.
Well,
Orthodox.
Methodists really wet the bed with their whole debacle they got going on.
What happened? I don't even know.
The LGBTQ stuff.
Oh, they're like pro LGBT.
I think. All right, so I've been out of the Methodist Church for a while now, but the little bit that I know, there was a divide in the Methodist Church, and half of them went one way and half of them went the other. I know actual pastors who were a year or two from being fully tenured, and they left the church because of it. So pretty big deal. Like went and started their own church.
Wow. Yeah, I really didn't hear about that. That's
I don't know
crazy.
enough of the details to like fully go into it, but there was a huge divide, and it's kind of funny that the divide was liberal and conservative. Like, I'm not joking about this. Like, the conservatives were, well, we can't have this, blah, 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 and the liberals were on the other side of things. So now it's split the church. You see what I'm saying?
I believe it. Yeah, because that's what the devil needs to do, is Satan needs to do, is divide. And I bet you most, all those people that separated from the Methodist Church for LGBT, a lot of Catholics are not really Christians. And this maybe, I'm going to read the 7 tenets of.
That's what I was going. I'm not trying to pick on Catholics, and I'm not trying to, like, I know some cruddy people who aren't anything, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot more fake in the funk, it feels like. If I was just like shooting from the hip, like I've seen so many people who I thought were like stand-up people because they're Catholic and they're talking the talk, but they're not really walking the walk.
Yeah, but at least they're hypocrites, though, because there's a lot of people are atheists, and then they have no structure of what they can do or not do, and they're never hypocrites. You can never be a hypocrite as an atheist because you're not really standing for anything. Like, anything is good. I'm a good person. I just follow my intuition. Like, you'll never be a hypocrite because you'll be always right. And that's, at least Catholics, at some level, you can call them a hypocrite because they're supposed to live like Jesus. They're supposed to follow Jesus, but they don't, when they cheat on their wife, or, like do like blow in the back of a room, like, off a stripper's butt or something like that. I mean, we've all been there.
No, I mean, I haven't been there, but
I've never done blow, for the record, either.
Yeah, me either. But no, I don't know. I don't want to make it sound like we're picking on one religion or anything, but I see a lot of hypocrisy coming from certain segment.
Yeah. But this is what I want to say. A lot of the religions that are going the other way, this is why it's coming to that fake Messiah. Because look at this, what the Satanic Temple is saying in their 7 fundamental tenets. And I don't think any of them are going to disagree. The same people leaving the Methodist Church, a lot of these Catholics, I bet they agree with all 7 of these. And look at this. Number 1, you should act in strive in compassion and empathy towards all creatures. Number 2, struggle for justice is ongoing and necessary. Number 3, the body is inviolable. You can't. The body is inviolable, subject to its own will alone. Number 4 is freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. 5, belief should be confirmed to one's best scientific understanding of the world. 6, people are fallible. If one makes a mistake, you should the best to rectify it. Number 7 is every tenet is a guiding principle decided to expire, and the spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice prevails over any written or spoken word. And I think everyone in those movements agrees with that. They're using their own judgment to, and they're not listening to any kind of word or like actual something written down that you have to follow. They're in charge of when they're compassionate. They get to define what is compassion. They get to, like, it's not about what Jesus said. It's not about what, Muhammad said, or it's not about what Gandhi said. It's about you decide what compassion is. And I think all those people, you have to be kind to LGBT instead of saying it's a truth that maybe it's not good if you can't create a family. Maybe it's not good if you can't have children. Maybe that's a bad thing. Like maybe that's incompassionate. But when you decide what your own compassion is, I think that's literally what Satanism is. And a lot of those people are Satanists. And we have to come out and like go on the website, look up the tenets of Satanism. And I bet you, if you are on the other side, or if you don't like religion or Christianity, I bet you align much closer to the Satanists than Christianity, and maybe that'll give you pause.
That's probably because you're aligning with the world.
Yeah.
So,
but it's just, there's something in each of us, I think even in the unbelievers, that it hurts. It like riles you up when you are a Satanist. Like, there's something wrong with that. Even if you don't believe in God, like you don't want to be called a Satanist. You don't want to be like, say you hail Satan. Like even the people in the church, like this Church of Satan, pretend like there's no Satan and they don't hail Satan. But the fact that you don't have a guide to you means you're hailing Satan. It means you're not following Jesus. So you are a Satanist. But at the end of the day, something is wrong with being a Satanist. So I think if we can just understand that if you follow these principles, I think we just have to call people out on being Satanists these days.
yeah,
Like it's like
if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's a duck.
It is a duck, yeah.
So I want to go back to your family and friends, man. What's going on there?
Well,
this is your chance. This is your chance to give them a piece of your mind.
Yeah, they can't rebuttal me. But
Yeah.
I mean, as much as concerned they are for me, I'm concerned for them. And
what are they concerned about, though? I guess what have we talked about on here?
Becoming a cult member or something like that. But I don't really care. Like
Just for the record, I am not in a cult, and I don't plan on being in a cult. And he has not approached me about any type of cult. So
yeah, and we're just talking about what's in our mind. Like no one's ever convinced me of any. I'm like coming through my own. Like C.S. Lewis is my closest to like a cult leader that I have, because I read his like apologetics. Like he comes from a place of logic. Like I can be convinced. I came to Christianity through logic rather than emotion or like people forcing me. Like my family members knew how logical I was, how I always try to hear both sides of the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what messing them up, because I'm telling them that there's a truth now. And that I think is really like irking them, because I would always be like, the truth is in the middle. The truth is like, you have to listen to all sides.
So they're not adjusting to you. You've changed, and they're not accepting that, or
they're just not accepting of me saying there's a truth. I think that's the main, like, that's what really caused, I think, a lot of issues. It was me saying that Jesus is the truth.
Is this a Thanksgiving's going to be a very awkward type of deal, or how serious is this?
I don't know. It's up to them. They can do whatever they want. But luckily there's another person in my family who is getting more Catholic, but she is definitely more religious than she's ever been in her life.
That's good.
And it is good, because I know
I'm just trying to understand what the problem is
but
here.
they're complaining about her too. They're
Why?
complaining that she's getting too Christian, like she's getting too religious.
Christian?
Too religious.
Too
yeah.
religious. So that's what the problem is.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem.
Not the truth part. It's the too religious.
I think, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Because I think the problem, that what they keep saying is that it's not good to get too religious.
Okay, here's the problem with this. This is the best way that I can put it. We're all making a bet, right? And and me, we are betting that God is real, and this is the way that we need to live our lives so that one day we can get to heaven. right?
Hmm.
Non-believers and not, even
Satanists.
Satanists and even believers who haven't had this realization yet are betting like they can just live life however they want, right?
And hoping that's good enough.
Exactly. What the way I look at bets are, what do you have to win? What's the total win, right? Versus the risk. And on that side, the risk is so much greater than what you could if you're right, what do you win at the end of the day?
Hmm.
Versus if you're on our side and you're right, what do you win? You win eternity in heaven.
Yeah. But what's
The
the
risk doesn't outweigh the reward on the other side.
but what is the risk even like that I'm more patient, that I'm more loving to each other, that I will turn my other cheek when like my father screams and yells at me how I'm a terrible person.
No, I'm
That
saying
I'm
we
like,
don't have the risk on our side. Like,
no, that's what I'm trying to say is that
and I don't think they understand that. I don't think they've ever stopped to think about that. When I hear like you're too religious, like that just blows my mind almost. Like, what are we living life for? We've already talked about that, you know?
but I
Like,
like try to logically convince them. They're like, I'm like, who has a problem with like, does that make Jesus happy, or does that make God happy or sad when you say I'm too religious? Does that make Satan happier or sad when I say? I
so
try to make it like a logical.
there is a part of them that is religious, you'll say.
Yeah,
Okay. Would have they said you're too religious?
yeah,
Would they say that if God was in the room?
probably not. Yeah,
That's the end of the art. Like, you're right. They're wrong. I'm sorry, family and friends, but if you wouldn't say it if God's in the room, why would you say it otherwise?
yeah. Well, because they are in charge of their goodness. They decide what is good, and it's not good to be too Christian. That's their own. That doesn't. Jesus never said that. God would never say that. You've decided that it's not good to be like too Christian, and that's like that's the whole relativism. I'm trying to say you decide your religion, and you're free to believe that. But the fact that they have such an issue with it is, it concerns me for them. Like
Yeah,
as
it
much as
should
they're
be.
concerned for me, I'm as concerned for them, if not
Philip
more.
Anthony Mitchell talks about basically this exact scenario. He says, I'm not as worried about the non-believers as I am the people who believe but don't do the work, right? They don't put the work in. They don't believe enough. They're they're not too religious, right? They're the ones that are going to show up on judgment day and hear that, get away from me, I never knew you.
Mhm.
Is that what you want?
Well, I think that's what they're scared of, or they get offended, actually. I think when they see me saying that, you have to be good, because then that implies
No,
to them,
you don't have to be good.
what apply.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that before that gets taken out of context. You have to understand, like we've
What is
talked about
good?
this 100 times. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have hiccups. You're like, being good is knowing like, hey, I'm not supposed to jerk off to pornography, right?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Oh well, I just did. I'm not supposed to do that to pornography when I'm married. I don't even know. You're probably not supposed to do it when you're not
Absolutely
married.
no. There's scripture against it. Yeah.
So knowing like, hey, I'm not supposed to do this. Knowing right from wrong, but still doing wrong is what the problem is, right? Knowingly doing wrong, right?
Yeah.
Versus like when something happens and it's like somebody cuts you off in traffic and you flip them off and you cuss at them and like that. To me, there's a separation there, right? That happened in a split second. It wasn't something you meant to do. You didn't go out looking for it. There's a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, there is. Like, you have to be able to separate right from wrong while also striving for perfection, understanding like you're never going to be perfect.
I agree with you, but I think another thing that they're struggling with it is that I think they're not a good person, and that is really worrying them. This is every family
This is
member.
a great episode for them to hear
I hope they do.
because like I'm in the same boat, knowing that I have family and friends who aren't, and I don't want to say it because it makes me, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal,
I think
but
that's
I
the
just
problem, yeah.
know that their faith, even my wife, like hey, you need to get in the Bible. You need to start praying more. Like, did you pray today? Like, I don't want to bug her, but it's important to me, right? And I know she's not there yet. So I know there's other family and friends out there that are like that. And our job is to be a fisher of men, right? And win more souls for the kingdom. So I'm failing in that regard. But I don't look at it as I'm better than anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
I've just had this realization, and it's become a very important part of my life. Like, I had the realization this morning when I realized I had to come do this podcast. I've said it multiple times before, like, I don't necessarily want to come do it. And it hit me this morning, like, why am I talking like that? Don't ever say that again. I get to come do this, number one. And it's a blessing, really, to be able to come do this. And it's the little bit that I can give back, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm trying to rewire the way I think and things like that, but it's not about being better than anybody. I'm not better than, like, I fail probably more than my wife.
Yeah, but it's really not about us at this point, because they have an issue of them not being good people. And when you say
Well,
that
if you
it's
cheat
okay
on your
to fail,
wife, if you,
but they still think they're good people. They still think they're good people when they lie. When, you yell or say obscenities to people, like, you're still a good person at the end. Like, that's why Catholicism, I think, is kind of evil, because at the end of the day, you're always a good person. Like, it doesn't matter how many, like,
yeah,
but we're trying to say, like, you need to understand when you fail from being a good person.
Yeah.
I think that's the disconnect. Like, sure, it would be great to be a good person all the time, but we fail from that. That's like the perfect scenario. That's Jesus being
Yeah.
perfect. And we fail all the freaking time to hit that. And to say that you're good is kind of like the opposite of what Jesus was saying, because we're never going to be that level of good. We're never going to be good.
You have that. I think what you're talking about is the heart that is not the pure soil, right? Where the seed can get down into it and produce the best fruit. It's the kind of half soil, half rock, right? Where seed can get down in there, but nothing great can really grow from it, right? You got to get that heart to where it's pure. I'm not a gardener or anything, but I know there's great soil out there and that the seed flourishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sounds like what you're talking about is because I've dealt with the same thing. I've myself personally, right? Like, I think I'm headed on the right path. I still think I have areas that need improvement and that make me not a great person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I've realized it, and I'm not living in this false fairy tale land that, hey, I'm a good person, even though I just cussed out that lady that cut me off.
But still, you're technically a good person. Like, I think it's really just the dividing thing. And when we say that there is a better standard of good, I think that's an affront on their own whole person. Like, and it's kind of hard to explain, because we're both taking ourselves out of it, and we're trying to see where we're not a good person.
Yes.
And how to get better. And if
look at me in sports, for instance. Like, I left my fandom on kind of a high with LSU winning the College World Series. It was awesome. I don't know if we've had a podcast since then, but
yeah, we did.
That was awesome. But the fandom was when I didn't like another team. We've talked about this as well. Like, their fans or their players or whatever it was about them. Like, it put, I don't want to say hatred, but a dislike in my heart.
Yeah.
Right. Where there's no room for that if I'm trying to be like Jesus. Right. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we all have this in us, but you have to be on this path to be in a position to recognize your faults, and not just, hey, I'm living life and I'm a good person and I've got a good heart and blah, 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 blah. And that's where you're going to fall short. And I guess my point was, I don't want to gamble on that. I want to explore.
It's a smart choice. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where I was going with this, because it means so much to me that the reward is so much greater than the risk. The risk for me is living my life praising God, living my life living my life a way that God would be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
That, and it might not be as fun as going and getting wasted, right? Like, I guess depending on who you are and how young you are, that's pretty fun sometimes. Like when I was in college, that was fun. It's not so much fun at 42 years old, but it's not always the most fun thing or the most sexy thing to live like this, right? But to me, that's what I'm giving up, is my life like that.
Yeah.
For the reward of hopefully going to heaven.
It's a smart,
but I'm aware of it.
It's a smart choice that you're making. Yeah.
And others are not aware of it, right? Because we've been told our whole lives. I was told, like, all you got to do is believe. That's what we're told. I've had pastors say that.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to believe. You got to believe, and you'll go to heaven because Jesus paid for our sins and all this other stuff. I don't know if that's the case, and I'm not willing to risk it. So along the way, I'm going to try to live the best life I can.
Well, yeah, because I think what they were trying to say is you can't just pretend to believe. If once you actually do believe, then you try to become better. You try to see where your faults are, and it's the first step is believing. And
do you know how many believers out there can't even tell you the 10 Commandments?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you probably the 10 Commandments. I'm trying to learn all of them still. There's something about heart, like I just messed up what was the fourth one, like the other day. Like I keep messing up, and I'm not perfect with my Christianity at all. But I think one of the things that will help me on my journey with my family, and I think it did resonate maybe once, is that I need to take, and I think one of the first podcasts we talk about that, I need to take their goodness there, because there is that seed of Jesus, a Holy Spirit in them, and that is pure and that is good.
And we're not saying that they're bad people.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but there is always if you are Christian or maybe anything else, there's the seed of the Holy Spirit in you that is amazing, perfect, and good. But it's corrupted by the society. It's corrupted by these demons and stuff like that. And they're trying to convince you of all these things that are bad. And once you kind of like, when I stopped smoking, this was really what helped me, is like, I became a victim. Like, I'm not a terrible person because I smoked. Nicotine is a terrible vice that corrupted me. I had someone to blame, which was like the nicotine, the smoking. Yeah. Like that's what was bad. It wasn't me. Like I fell victim to it. And I think we can do the same kind of thing in Christianity. Like you're not a bad person. You're a victim of the society, victim of these demons corrupting you. Like you are so good, so pure in the inside, but you're just being bombarded by these terrible things in our society that is trying to corrupt you away from it. And I think that's a really good way to just motivate people to understand, I'm not criticizing you. There is amazing, beautiful, pure essence inside of you.
And for the record, you're not putting yourself on a pedestal saying that, hey,
because I'm just as bad.
I'm too religious and I'm way better than any of you. Like that's not what you believe. That's not what you're saying. It's none of that.
Yeah, but I think having standards like that immediately impacts them, because I never said I was better than them. All I'm trying to do is convince you of what I believe. I'm not just trying to convince you to believe anything. This is what I believe. And all of a sudden that's an attack on them, because if I'm saying you have to follow Jesus, then that means they're not good. Like, so they're taking it as offense, but I'm saying
I can see that.
There's demons inside of us that are trying to corrupt us and trying to throw things at us. We're beautiful on the inside. If we can remove these demons and just have some kind of compass to what's good, like lead us out of this darkness to something. We need to go to that direction, and that's Jesus. Like it's so simple, but if we can just all agree on that, we really get to the other side. We would get through this darkness.
Well, I mean, I get where you're coming from, and
I don't know if any of that made sense. I don't know. Hopefully I can share this to the people in my life that are worried about me.
That's wild though.
I love that
you're
you're
religious. Like that's crazy.
And I try to bring it back to my grandma and stuff, because she was too religious according to them as well. And I had this conversation with my mom. She's like, that's what I really didn't like about my mom. But I was like, that's what I really loved about your mom, and what made us such a good family that reverberated through the generations to us, because she was so connected to God, because she knew what was right and wrong. Your mother was amazing because of that.
It would absolutely destroy me to hear one of my kids say, my dad was too religious. Like, I pray that I'm doing the right thing and setting the right example, and that they see it and that inspires them to live their life, because I'm not just doing this for me, right? You ever heard the saying, it's lonely at the top?
Yeah.
Who wants to get to the top by themselves, right?
Exactly.
And if the top is heaven, I don't want to get there that does me no, I want my wife and my kids and my family and my friends and everybody that I come in contact with, like everybody. You ever see the picture of there's a guy who would take pictures of when there's a walk-off home run and the whole team standing at home plate, like arms wide, welcoming the guy as he's rounding third to come touch the plate and score the winning run. And he's like, I take these pictures because that's what I imagine heaven being like. And if you could just close your eyes and like think about that, like that's the reason for being too religious, right? I can't help you if I'm not there yet. Like, how can I talk to you about this if I'm not there yet? So you're getting to a point where you can have these conversations and you can fish for the people that you love and that you care about and others and anybody that comes into your life, right? Yeah. And that's what too religious really is I believe in heaven. I want to spend eternity in heaven because eternity is a very long time, and I'm willing to risk. I guess that was my question that I never got to is, are you not as fun anymore? Is that part of the deal?
Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'm not as fun anymore. Maybe that's the problem, is that I have like reservations, but I think I'm still I do funny things and have funny jokes, and they can even admit that too. But I don't lie as much, and they know that too, probably.
I fell in to see the problem.
I used to lie so much all the time for no other reason than just to lie.
Yeah,
and I was good at it.
Like a rug.
I was so good at it. And now I can't. It sucks because it was so much easier when you could just lie all the time. Like, but I understand that there's good things that happen when you don't lie. And the thing that doesn't really worry about me, and I think this really irks them too, is that it doesn't bother me because I know that this is the right path. I know when I first woke up, when Jesus woke me up, like I had the same vision.
I feel like your family and friends going to hate me, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
They probably think you're in a cult. Even though you don't go to church, you don't go, your wife doesn't believe it somehow.
No, my wife is a believer. She's just too preoccupied.
Yeah.
She's stuck in the
I'm
grind.
just saying, you don't drink Kool-Aid every week somewhere, right?
Oh, yeah. No.
So this is our Kool-Aid, right? This is the closest to cult that we are. We meet every other week or something talking about Jesus, which I guess is a cult these days. But I had
what a great cult to be in.
Yeah, I like talk. It's like therapy. It's a therapeutic cult, and we have no leader. we just have to be good.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. I guess he's our cult leader. Yeah. But the thing that really reinforces it, when I first woke up, I had a big vision, and it like my wake up was instant, and I realized everything I was doing is wrong, and how I have to dedicate my life to Jesus. And in that moment, I remember Jesus, or I forget exactly what happened, but I had to explain to my family, and I get the chance, actually, that's how it was. I have the chance now to impact my family. And I had a vision of us on a beach. I don't know where it is, but them surrounding about me, listening to me talk about Jesus, and then them coming to a realization, all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm targeting that because I know that happens sometime in the future, because that's what happened in my most clearest moment in my life, is I had an impact on my family. And that's why I'm looking forward to this. Honestly, I'm actually having a conversation with my family about Jesus. We would never do that before.
That's
we
awesome.
would never talk about praying before. And now we're finally going step by step to it. And I'm happy for the turbulence. I'm happy for the
I don't think there'd be
ebbs
any
and flows.
turbulence. I mean, I don't know your family and I don't know your friends, but you're coming from, at the end of the day, you're coming from a place of love. Like you're talking to them about this because they mean so much to you. Yeah. That you want them to see what you see. That's really all it is. Like, if you didn't care and you didn't love them, there'd be no reason to talk to them about it, right? Exactly. If you were just so concerned about, and I think that's part of the problem with society is we get so wrapped up in what, and it's all about us. What can you do for me? What's in it for me? Like, that's why I'm so kind of drawn to, my faith and everything, is because it's not all about me. It has nothing, like, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's about, hey, can I spread the word? This is what happened for me. This is what woke me up. I want to see you get woken up. I want to see you spend life in eternity. And I feel like, this is also part of our duty once you're, once you are awake, is you got to go out there and shake people and wake them up. But you do it because you have a love for other people, right? Just like Jesus had a love for us. And God had a love for us, so
Amen.
much so that he sent Jesus down here to pay for our sins.
I love them more than anything on this earth.
Yeah, exactly.
They're my everything. Our family is so close, and we are getting further away from each other, just because we're moved down here. There's been turbulence in our family, and I want us to all bring together, and I think we can do that through Jesus. And I'm hopeful for the future. And it's because I love you so much. Like, I wouldn't care, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to get at it. Any final words, Fred?
No, I just, like I said, too religious is, I want to try to play the devil's advocate. And, like, if you've changed for better or for worse, like, people close to you are going to notice that change, right? And if you're not the old Mike, then maybe they're just having a hard time adjusting to that. It doesn't necessarily mean that the door is closed on their faith journey on their own. And maybe it's going to be that one thing that wakes them up. And hopefully it's not an illness. Hopefully it's not a death. Hopefully it's not financial trouble. Hopefully it's just like, hey, I got a word, and that changed my life. I got a word when I needed it most.
Yeah.
It changed my life.
I like that. So yeah, let's leave it at that until next time. This was a good podcast. Hopefully this was relatable to everyone out there.
Nobody will probably see it, but
yeah, this is going to be shadow banned, but please like and subscribe if you made it to this point. It means a lot. I have a new message on our thing trying to get 10,000 subscribers. We're almost at 5,000. I'm pretty sure that'll happen. It's probably already happened by the time you're watching this. So let's get that 10K.
Let's go.
That's a big moment. And love you all. Have a good one.
God bless.